Ready?
Yeah.
Right. Movie's called Lifetime, and the little tagline's "Time is running out faster than ever before." So we've got quite a long synopsis because it's like the whole movie. So our film is set in 2287 in a futuristic city where time is more influential than ever before. The city is majorly overpopulated and resources are running very low, and there is no other life on Earth apart from the population of this city. The government, also known as the tyrants, run the city. They decide to terminate people's lives at the age of 40 because of the dense population, but the tyrants can live a limited life. Due to further decreases in resources, the tyrants decide to slash the age of termination to 35. When the time runs out on the ticker, their life comes to an end and their bodies drop to the floor. After the bodies drop to the floor, the exiles come and take them away to be burnt. The exiles are people paid in time to collect the deceased. Cyrus is the protagonist, and he is 32 years old. He has a fiancée called Luna who is 34, and her time is running out fast. Cyrus is not willing to let her die, so he goes looking for a way to stop the ticker. As Luna's time is ticking down, Cyrus is quickly trying to find a way to save her. On his journey, he encounters many obstacles as he looks for an antidote. He also encounters hidden resources that the tyrants are keeping for themselves. There is a myth that there is a switch that turns off all the tickers in the city. Cyrus goes on a journey to find if this myth is true and save Luna. In the end, Cyrus finds a switch and turns off all the tickers. However, unfortunately, Luna was not saved in time. She died, which is tragic news for Cyrus. This drove Cyrus to lead to an uprising against the tyrants. He tells everyone about the hidden resources, and the tyrants are overthrown by the people, and Cyrus becomes their leader. So genre and influences. The genre of our film is dystopian sci-fi. We chose this because there is an element in our film that makes it a sci-fi. For example, when the bodies just drop to the floor after they die, it has a sci-fi element in it. The dystopian elements in our film are that it is a futuristic world where the government rules the world using time as a way of controlling everyone. This could be seen as a critique of society and also critiquing the government in the world. It is also a genuine fear amongst humans that one day the government could suppress the world. Critiquing society is typical in dystopian films. So we have a couple of influences. Our main influences of our film were Logan's Run and In Time. Both films are influenced by time, which is similar to ours. Logan's Run is a film based in the year 2274. It has influenced our film because they terminate people's life at 30. The difference is that they terminate people's life at 30 because of a quasi-religious ceremony known as the carousel. Additionally, the city is in an enclosed dome. We took elements from this film to help us create our storyline. And In Time is also a film that majorly influenced our film. This film also uses the concept of short-lived lives in the future. In this film, people stop aging at 25, but you buy your way out of the situation and live longer. The people have to work to earn time. We took elements from this film to also help with our storyline.
The protagonist is Cyrus. He's a young man, and he's an unconventional hero, which is typical in dystopian films. But he's also quite intelligent, and as the film progresses, he grows into being a hero. And yeah, next is the antagonist. The tyrants are the villains of the film. They have masks over their face, so we never actually see who they are, but which adds mystery to the film. But we're going to try and make them seem as villainous as possible. Then there's Luna. She's a damsel in distress because she's a victim of the time slash, and she needs to be saved by Cyrus. But she's not majorly the film or trailer. This is our 3-act treatment. In Act 1, we're going to just give an overview of what's happening. We're going to try and make the city look quite run down. We're also going to introduce the characters and make them look quite happy because Cyrus just proposed to Luna. In Act 2, the tyrants slash down the age to 35. That shocks the city, and it turns the city into chaos. And everyone starts dropping dead. Cyrus is majorly upset and distraught as he finds out that Luna's only got months to live. Then Act 3, Cyrus goes on a hunt for the myth that there's a way to turn off the tickers. He encounters many obstacles on the way. He also finds the hidden resources that the tyrants are storing. Then in the end he finds a switch and all the tickers are turned off and the tyrants are overthrown. What we have in red is what we're not putting in the trailer, and everything in white is what we are putting in the trailer.
So we decided to give it a 15 certificate because there's strong violence and some frequent strong language. We felt the audience of under 15 would not be suitable for the narrative. Additionally, if the film was an 18, audience would not be so wide, and also marketing it would be harder because you couldn't advertise in certain places or at certain times. And trailer shots. In our trailer, we're going to use close-ups, mid-close-up, establishing shots, and many other different shots. We also want to use shots from many different angles, such as bird's-eye view shots and low-angle shots. As well as this, we're going to use freeze frames, time remapping, and slow motion. So that picture that's there, we're going to try and find something like that in Brighton and try and get a low-angle shot like that.
These are the kind of locations we want to use in Brighton. We want to get like a good view of the city as we're like beginning to use the voiceover as like trying to like give a brief overview of what's going on in the film. We also want to find like rundown places where there's like graffiti and stuff to show that how derelict and broken down the world has become. We're also thinking about using the West Pier to show that like the city has turned into something really bad and then like what it like used to be. Our main prop is going to be a watch, and we're going to use it as the ticker, which is like the main part of our film. So yeah, we're going to take a lot of shots of that, and all characters are going to wear it on the wrist in the film. That's it.
That's it. Any questions?
Yes, I've got a question. You mentioned that the hero is unconventional, but you didn't mention how he's unconventional.
He's just quite, he's just like an average kind of guy. So if you looked at him, you wouldn't think he's a hero. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's answered that question. Any other questions that have arisen? I've said that what's worked really well, and maybe any other people can also come up with what they like about their concept. I liked your tagline. It's all, already it's quite intriguing, and your synopsis was really quite thorough and detailed, and has really appropriate elements of the genre, and you did have quite clear links to what's influenced you. What else have people liked about their concept?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think it's really imaginative and they put a lot of thought into it.
Yep. Is that a hand up or? Okay. Any other things that we like? I think I do like that sort of romantic element as well. It does show maybe, this guy's soft guy, and that love interest bit is quite lovely in contrast to the harsh behaviour that's occurring. So in a world where things are not going right, there is still that glimmer of hope. I'm just wondering about your antagonists. You seemed a bit vague about your antagonists. Would costuming maybe make them obvious to us? I'm just wondering how you're going to make it obvious that they are the antagonists if we don't see much of them.
Well, they'll have masks on,
Okay.
so that tells straight away that they're not quite there.
We'll put them in like a dark room.
Okay. I'm just wondering if if they're the ones in power, if the tyrants are in power, something about power dressing in some respect might make them very obviously different from the average Joe Blow who might still be just wearing hoodies, things like that, maybe something to consider there.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions? Okay, thank you very much, guys.